Welcome to the Rare History Channel. Alexander Fleming, Discoveries, Triumphs, and Tidbits You Never Knew. Alexander Fleming, a name synonymous with serendipity and groundbreaking scientific discovery, is best known for his accidental discovery of penicillin, the world's first antibiotic. However, the path that led to this monumental finding, and the life he led beyond it, is peppered with intriguing and lesser-known details. Here are 13 surprising facts about Fleming that shed light on the man behind the microscope. Fact number 1. He discovered penicillin by accident. Penicillin was a mold, which accidentally turned a fascinating discovery. Fleming discovered a mold that was in the form of a juice that formed on a petri dish that had Staphylococcus culture in which he had been placed on a window. The juice, he observed, destroyed bacteria, and he named it penicillin. The drug is still widely used, though it has come across the resistance in some parts of the world. It is still used as a cure for respiratory infections such as pneumonia and acute exacerbations. Number 2. He served in World War I. Sir Alexander Fleming served as a captain in the Army Medical Corps. He was mentioned in dispatches and returned to St. Mary's in 1918, where he had been a lecturer. He was knighted in 1944. Karl was elected as professor of the St. Mary's School in 1928 and served as emeritus professor of biology at the University of London in 1943. He was also a member of the Territorial Army, where he served as a private between 1900 to 1914 in the London Scottish Regiment. Number 3. He received adequate education in his 20s. Sir Alexander Fleming was born into a peasant family and could not afford to go to school. He worked at a shipping office in London, where he moved to when he was 13, as he attended the Royal Polytechnic Institution since he could not afford to go to a private university. He, after some time, inherited some money from an uncle who passed on, and he was able to enroll at St. Mary's Hospital Medical School, where he graduated with an MBBS degree in 1906 and later with an MSc in bacteriology in 1908. Number 4. His discoveries were not taken seriously. When he discovered penicillin, Sir Fleming's work was ignored by everyone, mostly because they did not yield positive results when tried. He had even published his work. The development of penicillin from the mold was also a very slow and tedious process, and therefore was not given much thought. Even he halted his discoveries on it for a while. Number 5. Nobel Peace Prize. In 1945, Sir Fleming received a Nobel Peace Prize together with two other scientists, Ernst Boris Chain and Howard Florey. Interestingly, the two scientists continued research on penicillin after Sir Fleming had abandoned it, and were able to master how to produce it in large quantities and make improvements on it. They would have received the Nobel Peace Prize with Norman Heatley and Edward Abraham, but rules indicate that not more than 3 persons can receive one Nobel Peace Prize at a go. Number 6. He painted using bacteria. Imagine going to an art gallery and seeing Sir Alexander Fleming's name on a painting. That will not be the most astonishing thing. The fact that he painted using bacteria would be it. Painter James McNeill Whistler urged the microbiologist to join a private art club, Chelsea Art Club, where he painted using germs. Each species was painted using a different color of bacteria, and the colors only became visible when the bacteria developed in the canvas. Number 7. Antiseptics weren't so useful after all. During the First World War, Sir Fleming served in the Royal Army Medical Corps, attending to wounded soldiers. It was during this time that he realized that while antiseptics worked perfectly well on shallow wounds, it was killing soldiers who had deep and more serious wounds. This was because he found out the antiseptics were destroying both the good and the bad bacteria. The good bacteria are good in protecting the body, and the antiseptics were destroying these as well. There was no alternative on what to use, therefore treatment continued anyway. Number 8. He completed school at the age of 16. His academic life was very interesting. He received a scholarship at the age of 11 to join the Kilmarnock Academy when his academic prowess was discovered. He studied there for 2 years, then moved to London. Before that, he used to go on foot to school, the Darville Academy, which was an 8-mile trip. His first studies in London at the Polytechnic were actually in business and commerce. He performed extremely well, so much so that the school moved him 2 classes forward so that he graduated at age 16. He got a job at a shipping company, which he did not enjoy, and decided to study medicine. He passed his exams well and enrolled at the St. Mary's Hospital Medical School. Number 9. Published papers. During his active research years, he wrote a series of research papers and publications in the area of bacteria, the use of antibiotics, and also the immune system. He published works on bacteriology, chemotherapy, lysozymes, penicillin, and immunology. Number 10. Awards and honors. Apart from the Nobel Peace Prize, Fleming received many other notable prizes. He was knighted in 1944 to become Sir Alexander Fleming. Fleming Museum was also built in his honor and also for his discoveries. The Hunterian Professorship by the Royal College of Surgeons of England was awarded to him. He also made it to Times magazine as one of the 100 most important people of the 20th century, as well as being British Broadcasting Corporation's list of 100 greatest Britons in 2002. His image appears on the new £5 notes also, as provided by the Clydesdale Bank. Number 11. During the First World War, Alexander Fleming became aware of how hazardous antiseptics were. Fleming fought in the First World War as a medical officer for the Royal Army Medical Corps, as was described in the background section. Antiseptics were regularly used to treat wounds during that time. Fleming noted that the widespread use of antiseptics was the cause of the high death rate among soldiers. When administered to shallow wounds, he asserted, antiseptics worked effectively. Deeper wounds, however, simply had the good bacteria that people generated to defend the body killed. In other words, antiseptics destroyed both harmful and beneficial germs, resulting in numerous fatalities. Although other experts agreed with him, antiseptics were nonetheless used until the war's end since there were no viable alternatives. Number 12. By chance, Alexander Fleming found lysozyme. He learned about lysozyme when some sneeze-related mucus landed on a laboratory dish containing a bacterial culture. He observed the destruction of the germs that had been present where the mucus had fallen. This bacteria was created by an enzyme known as lysozyme. Number 13. Fleming married a trained nurse. Fleming wed Sarah Marion McElroy of Killala, County Mayo, Ireland, a professional nurse, on December 24, 1915. Robert Fleming, 1924 to 2015, their only child, went on to become a general practitioner. Fleming married Amalia Kotsuri-Varikas, a Greek co-worker at St. Mary's, on April 9, 1953, following the death of his first wife in 1949. She passed away in 1986.